A story began to unfold in Mississippi. It involved money, people in need, and famous names. The state had funds for temporary assistance for needy families, or TANF. This money was meant to help the poorest residents. Reports suggested it was not. Investigators found troubling patterns. One name surfaced: NFL legend Brett Favre. His name appearing in this context was shocking. The public demanded answers. Michael Vick watched these events. He had his own history with the law. Vick decided to share his thoughts in a new Netflix documentary. The documentary was titled Untold: The Fall of Favre. It began streaming on May 20, 2025. Vick suggested that the system might be rigged. He expressed worry that Brett Favre might be untouchable. This was a bold statement from someone who had experienced the full force of the justice system. Vick served 21 months in federal prison for his involvement in a dogfighting ring. He saw a difference in how Favre's situation was being handled. His perspective added a new layer to the discussion. It was the perspective of a black athlete who had paid a heavy price for his actions. He was now commenting on a white athlete who, despite serious allegations, had not faced criminal charges. Vick's comments highlighted a perceived double standard. How are public figures treated by the justice system? Does race or status play a role? People go to jail for stealing money every day, Vick stated. He added, "Some people are untouchable in certain ways, and that's just the way it is." This fatalistic view suggested a deep-seated belief that fairness is not always guaranteed, especially when powerful individuals are involved. His words sparked widespread debate. The accusations against Brett Favre were specific. The Mississippi Department of Human Services accused Favre of misappropriating millions of welfare dollars. The core of the allegation was that money meant for the poor was used for other purposes that seemed to benefit Favre or entities connected to him. One prominent example involved a volleyball stadium at the University of Southern Mississippi. Favre's daughter was a student athlete there. Reports alleged that Favre and former Mississippi Governor Phil Bryant directed at least $5 million from the TNF program to build the stadium. The total amount Favre is alleged to have squandered is even larger. Some reports suggest it was more than $20 million. These were funds earmarked for families in dire straits. The scale of the alleged misuse was hard to comprehend. Text messages later came to light. These messages reportedly showed Favre's concerns about the media finding out. He worried about the source of the funds becoming public knowledge. This suggested an awareness that the arrangement was questionable. If the funds were legitimately used, why the concern about media exposure? These messages added fuel to the fire. They seemed to indicate an attempt to keep the financial dealings quiet. The questions mounted. How did this happen? The public demanded answers. Michael Vick's own story provides a stark contrast. In 2007, Vick was a star quarterback for the Atlanta Falcons. Then came the charges for his involvement in a dogfighting ring. The details were gruesome. The public outcry was immense. Vick faced serious federal charges. He pleaded guilty and was sentenced to 23 months in federal prison. He served 21 of those months. He lost his NFL career, at least for a time. He lost millions of dollars in salary and endorsements. He became a pariah for many. The justice system acted decisively in his case. There was no question of him being untouchable. He paid a very public and very significant price for his crimes. The public condemnation was intense. Animal rights groups were outraged. Fans felt betrayed. The media coverage was relentless. Vick became a symbol of cruelty and poor judgment. He faced this storm largely alone. His journey back was long and arduous. He had to demonstrate remorse. He had to work to rebuild his image and his life. His experience shaped his worldview. It undoubtedly informed his comments on the Favre situation. Comparing Vick's experience to Favre's current situation is illuminating. Vick went to prison. Favre has not been criminally charged. Brett Favre has consistently maintained his innocence. He has denied all allegations of wrongdoing. He insists he did not knowingly misuse welfare funds. His position is that he believed the projects he supported were legitimate. He claims he was not part of any conspiracy to defraud the state or its neediest citizens. Despite the serious allegations and public scrutiny, Favre has not faced criminal charges. Civil lawsuits have been filed. The state is trying to recoup the misspent money, but criminal prosecution is a different matter. The absence of criminal charges has led many to question why. Is there insufficient evidence? Or are other factors at play? Favre has not remained passive in the face of these accusations. He has taken legal action himself. He filed defamation lawsuits against several media personalities. Shannon Sharpe and Pat McAfee were among them. He also sued the state auditor of Mississippi. These legal maneuvers paint a picture of defiance. The ongoing legal battles continue to keep the scandal in the public eye. The Netflix documentary series Untold turned its lens on Brett Favre. The episode, titled The Fall of Favre, premiered on May 20, 2025. It promised a deep dive into his career and controversies. The timing was significant, coinciding with ongoing discussions about the welfare scandal. Documentaries like this can shape public perception. They can bring complex stories to a wider audience. Brett Favre himself chose not to participate. He refused to be interviewed for the documentary. This meant his direct perspective, his voice, his potential contrition was absent. For viewers seeking his side of the story directly, this was a gap. Documentaries often strive for participation from key figures. Favre's refusal left the filmmakers to rely on existing footage, public records, and interviews with others. The documentary did not just focus on the welfare scandal, it also revisited an earlier controversy in Favre's career: the 2010 sexting scandal involving Jennsterger. Sterger shared her account. She spoke of Favre sending unsolicited explicit photos. The NFL had fined Favre $50,000 for not cooperating with its investigation into that matter. Including this added another dimension to the fall narrative. Untold also featured audio recordings allegedly capturing threats. This suggested attempts to intimidate those investigating or publicizing the allegations. The handling of the Brett Favre case has raised eyebrows. Many people wonder if he is receiving special treatment. Michael Vick is not alone in his concerns. The idea of a rigged system resonates with those who see a disparity in how the powerful are treated compared to ordinary citizens, or compared to other athletes who have faced legal troubles. The question hangs in the air: is everyone truly equal before the law? Consider Favre's appearance before a U.S. Congressional committee. He testified in September 2024 before the House Ways and Means Committee. This was related to the welfare scandal. According to reports, some lawmakers seemed more interested in his football career. They reportedly praised his skills. Some even asked for autographs. This occurred during a hearing about a serious financial scandal. It struck many as inappropriate. It suggested a level of deference not typically afforded to individuals under such scrutiny. Mississippi Representative Benny Thompson has been critical. He accused Favre of taking advantage of struggling people. He suggested Favre failed to use his influence for good. Michael Vick's journey did not end with his prison sentence. He worked hard to rebuild his life and career. After his release, he returned to the NFL. He played for several more seasons. He showed flashes of his old brilliance, but more importantly, he seemed to have learned from his mistakes. He spoke out against animal cruelty. He tried to be a positive role model. His path to redemption was a public one. Today, Michael Vick is no longer just a former player. He has transitioned into new roles. He is the coach at Norfolk State. This allows him to mentor young athletes. He can share his experiences, both good and bad. He also works as an NFL analyst for Fox Sports. In this role, he offers insights into the game he once dominated. These positions show that he has found a way forward. He has carved out a new chapter in his life. His current roles give his comments on the Favre situation added weight. Scandals like the one in Mississippi have far-reaching consequences. The most immediate impact is on the intended beneficiaries, the needy families who did not receive the help they were entitled to. Their hardship is a direct result of mismanaged funds. This is a human cost. It is measured in missed meals, unpaid bills, and lost opportunities. This human element should never be forgotten in these discussions. Beyond the immediate victims, there is a broader erosion of public trust. Trust in public officials, trust in celebrities who are held up as role models, trust in the very systems designed to administer aid and ensure accountability. When people see funds being diverted, allegedly by those in power or with influence, their faith diminishes. This cynicism can be corrosive. It can make people less willing to support public institutions or charitable efforts. Welfare programs themselves can suffer. Scandals create negative headlines. They can lead to calls for cuts or stricter regulations. While oversight is crucial, sometimes the reaction can be disproportionate. It can harm the very programs that are essential for so many. The actions of a few can tarnish the reputation of vital support systems.